Now, at this point, he's still trying to find out where the sniper is. And so he decides he's going to stand up and make himself a target. And said, hey, guys, when I stand up, look and see if you see any muzzle flash. He gets up. No one sees him. And finally, they do start calling in the fire onto this village, and we'll go to the book. Now the first round slammed in. Beautiful to watch, the red burst and then the fireworks streamers of burning phosphorus splashing out from the burst. You knew it must have been different at the other end, a preview of hell. One hut was hit directly. It was on fire. Another hut started to burn. Phosphorus had splashed out, and now someone came out running. I thought it looked like a man, but at this distance you couldn't tell. He was in a long white garment. The platoon sergeant shouted in my ear, "Do we fire?" "No. Hold it. Hold your fire." "Them chinks. Sometimes they dress up like that maybe. White stuff over their uniforms." "I know. Just hold it." More huts were burning, and another figure in white sprinted out and fell. Then the robe began to burn. From another hut came two more figures in white, and not the khaki of Chinese uniforms. They ran fast and bent low, zigzagging across the central clearing of the village. "Them's chinks, Lieutenant. Women don't run like that." "Yeah," I said. There were half a dozen people running now through the village, all in white, one of them on fire, all sprinting away from us toward the Chinese lines. One was carrying something. It could be a rifle. It could be a furled umbrella. It could be anything. "Lieutenant, Jesus, let us fire. That's a weapon." "Okay, Sergeant," I said. "Fire at will." The bars ripped off automatic fire, heavy and fast. Two of the villagers fell right away, one trying to get up and then falling again. You could see the bar fire kicking up dust around him. Then a white phosphorus shell burst right in front of him, and we couldn't see him anymore through this fire and smoke. The whole village, every hut was aflame now. The bars fired, and a white-clad figure fell. I could see 3 or 4 of them running away, and one of them was on fire. Behind me, in the trench, someone yelled, "Christ, we're killing women." I whipped around. "Who said they're women? How do you know?" A Marine stared at me. His face was twisted, and I didn't know him. "Them's women. You can see the dresses. You can't shoot women." "They're men," I shouted. "At this distance, you can't tell me they're women. Not the way they run." The bars kept firing, nearly shutting out the firefight up at Tumari. "No, and you can't tell me they're men," the Marine said, not shouting now, but still staring. He looked as if he were going to jump me. I looked at him, trying to look absolutely confident. Then I turned back to the platoon sergeant. "Keep firing. They're soldiers, Chinese soldiers." I was not sure of this, not sure of anything, but I knew the probabilities, and I also knew I was scared from playing target. So when he got up and walked in front of them, he was shaken up from doing that. I'd made the decision to fire, and I couldn't back off now because a Marine, just as scared as I was yelling at me. He was guessing, that's all. I continued to kneel there, not really seeing anything anymore, not really focusing. They ran like men, damn it. Women didn't run like that. Behind me, the Marine was still there. I could sense him. Without turning, I said, "Go back to your post. If you're all that worried, don't fire. You don't have to fire." There was a sort of sob behind me and a scurrying movement. I felt funny kneeling there with my back to him. The Marine was shook, armed. He could shoot me right here. I forced myself to stay where I was. Then there was another sound as the Marine crawled away. "Killer," he whispered hoarsely, as if through tears. Then he was gone. And that situation is actually not, it doesn't get, there's no closure in that situation. He doesn't find out, doesn't get resolved in the book. They leave. They hit the village, they did cause their distraction, and then they leave, and he never really goes one way or the other and saying, or never finds out. Yeah. He suspected that they were men, but he never finds out. And that's, obviously one young Marine thought they were women. He thought they were men. No one really knows for sure. And war is hell.